to my channel. This is my journey with the gospel. Since I became a born again Christian, I've felt the need to really express my feelings and want to talk about the gospel and talk to people about it who wants to listen. Thank you for those who are subscribed so far. I'm really impressed, and hopefully I'll get some more as time goes on. This is my second video. I just want to very quickly talk about falling in the spirit before I go any further with my second dream, as it is quite relevant to what I'm talking about. I knew about people falling in the spirit. I didn't really understand it or why people fell in the spirit. You know, despite the fact I've been in several different churches where I've seen this happening. This particular experience with my then boyfriend, he was being delivered, which is another subject I will talk about at some other time for those who don't understand that. But he was basically growling like a dog and noises that I've never heard come out of a human's mouth before. It was very frightening, very uncomfortable to watch as well as to listen. But obviously things were taking place that I just didn't understand. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I was moving further and further back into the corner of the room because it felt so uncomfortable. I didn't really want to really witness it, but I couldn't help but look at what was going on. But anyway, I was going further and further back into the corner of the room, and it was just really, really uncomfortable to watch. That's the only way I can describe it. Anyway, obviously the pastor could see that I was uncomfortable about this as I was going further and further into the corner. I couldn't actually get any further, to be honest. But he decided to pray for me, and he did. He prayed for me, and I can't remember actually what he said. All I remember was that he said a few words, and I don't know how many seconds later, but I fell. I fell in the spirit. Something I've never experienced before, but you know something, it was a gentle experience. I remember standing up. I remember falling very gracefully and very gently to the ground. That's the only way I can describe it. I wasn't scared or anything, but I knew I wanted to get up, because that was the first thing I wanted to do, was just get up. But it felt as if a great big weight was pushing me down, and as I tried to keep coming up, I was just, you know, being pushed down. I later found out that, because since then I've fallen in the spirit a few times, and I've been told that while you're down there, God's working with you, and he basically wants you to pray while you're down there. But I didn't know that. My first thought was get up, get up. Anyway, I was a baby Christian, and to a large degree I still think I'm a baby Christian. So this is quite relevant to this dream that I had. Weeks and weeks later, this vision was very shocking, and I thought the first one was bad, but this one was far worse. And I was still carrying on with my you know, journey, and I was still going to church and all this sort of thing. But wow, I just couldn't get my head around this one at all, and I needed to talk to somebody after this particular dream, because again, it felt like I was being transported suddenly into a great big volcano. That is the only way I can describe it. It was flames on the inside. It was red. That's all I could see was red. And on the outside, it was dark. It was black, and everywhere around me, above me, was dark. The only bit of colour was red. You imagine that, a place of complete darkness, and the only colour you can see is red. You know. But anyway. Me and my then boyfriend in this dream were going down, 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 down. Oh gosh, that's the only way I can describe it. It was a bottomless pit, and I was going down in this bottomless pit. And you know what? Although I'm sort of talking about it lightheartedly now, I mean that was a year ago. When I think about that particular dream, I just think, wow. God was telling me, He was giving me that dream to tell me where I was going, despite the fact that I was going to church, singing 2 hymns, praising God for everything in my life, but I didn't know who God was. By that time, I still hadn't picked up a Bible. So I will tell you later on about what the pastor said, but basically after that dream, and in that dream, going down into the pits of wherever, I was shouting and screaming at my then boyfriend. And the reason why I mentioned being delivered, I honestly believe that God was showing me where exactly I was going. So as I was going down into this bottomless pit, I was screaming, shouting at my boyfriend, saying, this is all your fault. This is why we're here. I told you we shouldn't be doing this and doing that, and blah, blah, blah. I'll go to that another day. But it was, honestly, I'm a bit shy about certain subjects at the moment, so I don't want to sort of scare anybody off. But that dream was the wake-up call that I needed, because soon after that, we had to get counselling. Now that's another story. Anyway, I want to make this quick, so I've got to go out, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, but there's a serious side to my videos. I do take things lightheartedly because that's the way I get over things, and well, I can honestly say that was a wake-up call that I desperately needed, and it changed my life around. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular story. It is true. All my stories and all my dreams and visions are true. And hit the notification bell and please subscribe, and see you soon. God bless.